Happy Monday, welcome back to my channel. My name is Daria, and today's yoga practice is about the hips. This is a space where a lot of us hold a lot of tension, emotionally and physically, especially if you're doing a lot of sitting right now or really just living your life in general. It's a great practice to come back to for some tension relief. All you'll need is yourself and a yoga mat, and if you have yoga blocks, you might want to have those nearby just in case you want to grab them. But yeah, let's get into it. We'll start today in child's pose. Bring your toes together to touch at the back of your mat and spread your knees wide. Crawl your fingertips forward and then just let your forehead and your chest sink down and connect with the mat. Close your eyes. Drop into your practice. Drop into your breath. Inhale from your low belly and then send the breath up your spine along the exposed back line of your body, between each rib and all the way up to the top of your lungs. Exhale with an open mouth on a sigh. Let something go. Inhale with new, bright energy. Make space along the sides of your body. And then as you exhale, melt your hips a little bit closer to your heels. Continue breathing just like this. Start to notice how your body is feeling, how your mind is feeling, noticing with curiosity and without preference. See if you can shift your breath to the top layer of your mind, so the breath is floating above your thoughts like a layer of clouds. Today's practice is focused on the hips. In yogic tradition, the hips are a space where we store negative emotion and tension in both the body and the mind. So this practice today will move through postures that target the muscles surrounding the hip joint to create space and relieve tension both physically and energetically. On your next inhale, begin to cultivate your Ujjayi breath, building heat in the body. Create a slight constriction in the back of your throat and exhale through your nose like you're fogging up a mirror. Breathe with oceanic sound. Stay with this breath throughout your practice if it resonates with you, or you're welcome to take open mouth exhales at any time. On your next inhale, send your awareness to your fingertips and then climb all the way up to tabletop. Stack your shoulders above wrists and hips above knees. Inhale, reach your right arm forward in line with your shoulder and lift your left leg up and back, parallel to your mat. Claw your left fingertips into the mat to press away from the floor. Hug your left palm and right toes together into the midline to light up your core and create stability. As you exhale, keep your solid foundation and then move to awkward airplane. So reach your right arm forward and out and around, and the left leg back and around, bringing your arm and leg perpendicular to your body and hover. Stay active through your left palm and right toes. Breathe. Inhale, reach your arm and leg front and back, and then exhale, release to tabletop. Move through a few rounds of cat-cows between sides. Inhale for cow, drop your belly, lift your gaze, and imagine that the back of your head and your tailbone are magnetizing together. Exhale for cat. Curl your spine, draw the low belly in and up, and this time magnetize your forehead and hip points. Continue to move through these cat-cow shapes for 3 more rounds of breath. Feel free to take any organic movement here that feels good in your body, maybe sending some special awareness to your hips. You might try moving in a different way than you usually do, breaking through any habitual movement patterns, exploring what else might be there. Return to a steady tabletop. Inhale, this time the left arm and right leg lift. Pull everything toward the midline, recruit the core, and build your strong foundation. Inhale, find more length out your fingertips and toes. And then exhale, reach out and around for awkward airplane. How much can you press away from the mat? How light can you feel in this shape? Just hovering, but grounded and expansive at once. Inhale, reach left arm forward, right leg back, and exhale, release, tabletop. Inhale, tuck your toes behind you. Exhale, pull front body to back body as you wave backward to downward facing dog. Imagine your palms like sticky tree frog hands, spread so wide, and ground through the L shape of your thumb and index fingers, and then stick each fingertip down. Spread your sit bones wide and back, and then knit the low ribs together. It's always an option to keep the knees bent in downward facing dog to keep length in the spine. So take that if that feels good in your body. Inhale, lift and spread your toes, and then place them down one by one, paying special attention to the big toe and the pinky toe, really grounded. Inhale, rise up high onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, draw your knees into your chest, and then lower your heels. Maybe they come a little closer to the mat. One more time, just like that. Inhale, lift up high on your toes, and exhale, bend your knees to your chest and lower your heels down. Inhale to look forward to the space between your palms, and then slowly travel there, one step at a time. Maybe tiptoe your way there, up high on your toes, all the way up until your feet come behind your wrists, hips distance apart. And exhale for ragdoll pose. Bend your knees generously, connecting chest to thighs, and just let the full weight of your torso fall and hang heavy. Take whatever arm variation you prefer. Maybe you grab for opposite elbows, or option to interlace your fingers behind your head. Imagine that there's a weighted crown sitting on your head, and it's lightly pulling you downward with each exhale. Bring your fingertips back down to the mat. Leave your feet right where they are, and then slowly, slower than you think you can, roll up the spine, one vertebra at a time, coming all the way up to stand. Your head is the last thing to lift. Beautiful. Inhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Root your big toes and pinkies into the mat, and see if you can lift your middle three toes up and away and feel the arches of your feet slightly lift. Cinch your belly in and up as you soften your shoulders away from your ears. Look up. Exhale, bring your palms together at heart center. Close your eyes and take one cleansing breath for yourself, bringing the breath back to top of mind. Blink your eyes open. Keep your feet hips distance and inhale for chair pose. Sink your hips low and back, send weight into your heels, and then reach your arms up. Draw your low belly up to your sternum, cinching the waist. See if you can lift all 10 toes up and off the mat again, and then spread them wide, lowering them down softly, one by one. Inhale, find a longer spine, and exhale, chair pose with airplane arms. Shift your torso forward as you glide your arms down by your sides, Draw your shoulder blades together behind you, lighting up the triceps. Sit low. Good. Inhale, Tadasana. Rise up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Paint the sides of the room as you swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Iron out your spine. One long line of energy from tailbone to crown of head. Exhale, high plank. You have the option to take chaturanga or challenge yourself to move a little bit differently. And then draw your belly button to your spine and see how slowly, how intentionally you can make your way back to downward facing dog. Inhale, kick your right leg high and open up the hip right away, stacking your right hip over your left. Press down equally and actively through both palms as you bend the right knee and make hip circles, just opening up, lubricating the right hip. Inhale, square your hips down, kick high, and exhale, low lunge. Step your right foot through between your palms. Drop your back knee down as you inhale for Anjaneyasana, kneeling warrior. Reach your fingertips up high. Feel a beautiful stretch along the front of your right hip, maybe moving into the quad and into the groin. And now traction your feet together. Isometrically, pull your right foot toward your left knee, lighting up your inner thighs. Come back to your breath. With each inhale, hug your legs into the midline, and with each exhale, let your hips drop, melt closer to the mat. So what we're doing here is stretching and strengthening at the same time, creating engagement to find release. If you want to back off at all from the intensity here, because this can feel really intense, release your fingertips down to the mat or to yoga blocks or whatever is accessible to you, just to find a little more grounding. Take 2 more rounds of breath wherever you are. Bring your fingertips to interlace over your right quad. Keep the activation between your legs and cinch your waist, lengthening your spine. Inhale, lift your gaze, and then exhale, back bend any amount. Take what your body needs today, without preference, without labeling, without should. If you want to go a little farther, press your palms into your leg as leverage to tip you further back. And then slowly use your core to rise back up. Exhale, move into half splits. Walk your front heel slightly forward and bring your fingertips down to frame your leg, and then slide your hips back to stack over your knee. Keep the spine long here rather than curling in. Work to find length between each vertebra. And then as you exhale, send your heart forward. If the floor isn't accessible to you here with your hands, you can take yoga blocks, books, any props that you have available under your hands. Keep a micro bend in the right knee to protect the joint. And keep the idea of pulling the legs together as you stretch. Bend back into your front knee. Step your right palm out wide and start to ground down through your right palm, finding a quad stretch. Kick your left heel in towards your glute and reach your left arm around to grab your toes. And now see how much can you let go of the left quad here. The more that you can release and relax the grip of these muscles, the more easily you'll be able to stretch. And this is easier said than done. Breathe along the grain of the muscle, clearing away any stickiness. Let go of any tension in the face, in the jaw, the scalp. One more breath. Release your left foot down and roll onto the outer edge of the right foot, the knife edge, keeping that foot right in between your palms. Press up onto your fingertips and then lift your left knee off the mat behind you. Inhale, create length from your tailbone out the crown of your head and pull your feet together again. And then exhale, reach your left heel back and melt your hips and chest down. Inhale, press through fingertips, engage the thighs, reach your heart forward, and exhale, sink down again. One more time like that, this reptilian movement. Inhale, rise with the breath, lift up, and exhale, fall. This time, release your left knee and find runner's lunge. Step your right foot to the outer edge of your mat and then bring both hands inside. From here, maybe you come down to your forearms or to yoga blocks, or maybe you stay active. Find what feels good in your unique anatomy. Everyone's body is different. But let this posture feel restorative. As you breathe, imagine that breath moving to the core of whatever sensation you're feeling. Literally visualizing it moving through your body, washing, clearing, rinsing. Press back up to your palms, tuck your left toes, and step back to high plank. Now send awareness to your left hand and make your way to Vashisthasana, side plank. Roll over onto the left side. Maybe you stay here or take any variation you need. Option to drop down to the bottom knee for a little more support. Or maybe bend both of your knees and then ground your left foot flat into the mat, keeping the knee slightly bent. And now reach your right arm up high. Press down through your left foot and left palm so much that your right foot begins to lift. You can grab for your right big toe with your right peace fingers, or reach your right arm forward as your right leg lifts. And from here, slowly, begin to revolve onto the ball of the left foot. Chest comes back down to face the mat as you draw a big circle with your leg up and around, hovering for 3, 2, and then slowly your right palm comes down and your right foot comes down. Low lunge. Press down through your hands, engage your core, and slide back to downward facing dog. Maybe challenge yourself to keep your right leg straight the whole way there. Take a few open mouth exhales here. Release some heat. Release any expectations, attachments, negative self-talk that may have come up with some of these challenging asanas. Imagine the entire right side of your body lighting up with a warm glow. Inhale and kick your left leg high, open the hip, and take your knee circles. Keep the activation equal between both palms even as your hip opens. And now square the hips, kick high, and exhale, low lunge, step all the way through. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Drop the right knee down as the arms reach up. Right away, start to traction the legs together. Draw your low belly up to your sternum and see how strong and stable you can feel in your legs and how light and airy you can feel in your upper body. Use your breath to find the balance between activation and release, the simultaneous strengthening and stretching. With each exhale, let the hips become more fluid, softer around the edges, like they're warming with your breath. Again, if the sensation here becomes too intense, please release your fingertips down to the mat for some added stability. Find your edge, the point where the posture is challenging and maybe even uncomfortable, but never painful. Good. Bring your palms up to interlace over your left thigh and spin your thumbs down to point to the mat, framing your leg. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale, take your back bend, again finding whatever your unique body needs. Maybe simply lifting your gaze is enough. If you are craving a deeper sensation, press your palms down into your thighs as you pull your legs together and then arch up and back. Take open mouth exhales. And then draw your core in and up to rise. Release your fingertips down to frame the front foot and exhale for half splits. Again, if the floor isn't accessible to you here, take yoga blocks, books, whatever prop under your palms. Keep a long spine on your inhales and let your heart melt forward on your exhales. Breathe into the hamstring, the back of the leg, and send your left hip slightly back as your right hip goes slightly forward, keeping really square hips. Bend back into the left knee, send your hips forward, and kick your right heel in for a quad stretch. So your left palm comes out to the side, and if you can, grab for your back toes with your right hand. Find a subtle twist here, opening your heart up to the sky. Let the right quad be relaxed, disengaged, and breathe into the sensation. Relax the roots of the hair, the roots of the teeth, the jaw, the whole face. Release your grip and send the right foot down. Crawl up onto your fingertips as you roll onto the outer edge of your left foot, and then tuck your back toes behind you and lift up. We'll take these really slow lizard pulses, again, moving with the breath. Inhale, lengthen the spine, pull the legs together, pressing down through the feet. Send the back of the heart forward, and exhale, bend the elbows, sink the hips. 2 more times. Inhale onto the ball of the left foot, send your weight forward, and then exhale, right heel reaches back, left hip opens. Last time. Inhale, rise. And exhale, release all the way to runner's lunge, your version. It's always fun to play with the positioning of your front foot here. You can roll onto the outer edge, or maybe you step the foot a little wider than the mat, or maybe a more narrow stance feels good for you. Drop down to forearms or blocks, or stay active. Wherever you are, find something to soften. Press up to your palms and then step back to high plank. Shift weight into your right palm and open up for side plank. Stay here or take whatever variation you prefer. If you're going for Vashisthasana B, bend both knees and then step your right foot flat into the mat, keeping a small bend in the right knee. This time, left arm and left leg lift high. Maybe you grab for your toes or reach your left arm forward. How expansive can you be? And then slowly roll onto the ball of your right foot as you revolve your chest back to face the mat. Step your foot and arm around for 3, 2, and finally, land more softly than you think is possible. Stick your fingertips down to your mat. Lift your hips up and back and challenge yourself to hover your foot off the mat as you slide it through back to downward facing dog. Take 2 rounds of breath with open mouth exhales. Again, letting go anything that came up. And now visualize the left side of your body lighting up with a warm glow. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, lower down to your knees and make your way to a 90-90 position with the right leg forward. So we're creating a 90-degree angle with both legs here. Interlace your fingers behind your head, or you have the option to keep your fingertips grounded for some more support. Inhale to lengthen your spine, create space, and then exhale, fold forward over your front leg. Hover your torso over your shin. Inhale, rise, core engaged. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale as you rise. Keep moving through this at your own pace. Again here, we're strengthening and stretching simultaneously, keeping the muscles engaged as we stretch. Exhale as you lower. Inhale as you lift. One more wherever you are. And now exhale, release your forearms and take a restorative stretch here, letting go of any engagement. Just feel that beautiful hip stretch opening through the outer right hip. Maybe you feel some sensation on the left side too. Whatever you're feeling, breathe there. When you're ready, rise up and now roll through center, keeping your heels grounded into the mat and drive your knees out wide a couple times. And then take some windshield wiper movements with your knees, a little counter stretch, a little release. And then make your way to the back of your mat with the left leg forward in the 90-90 position, keeping the feet flexed. Bring your hands up behind your head or keep fingertips grounded. Inhale, press your feet down, draw your legs together, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, fold, hover the chest. Inhale, rise, and exhale, lower. Press your feet down into the mat and pull them together as you cinch your core to stabilize. Keep moving at your own pace. Last effort. Exhale to lower and inhale to lift. And now exhale, fold forward, finding your restorative stretch. Infuse your outer left hip with breath. How much can you let go? How much can you soften? How much can you melt your body, your mind? Rise up. Come back to center, heels grounded. Drive your knees apart again. And then take your windshield wipers one more time. And when you're ready, come back to face the front of your mat and lift up and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, kick your right leg high. Exhale, half pigeon. Draw your right knee forward to meet your right wrist. Square your hips and check that your left leg is in line behind you. And then fold forward on an exhale for sleeping pigeon. Take your deepest breaths of class right here. If you start to feel any pain in half pigeon, you always have the option to take supine figure 4 or any other restorative hip opener that feels good. You can also play with the angle of your front shin to see if you can relieve some of the discomfort that way. We often hear the cue to create a 90-degree angle with the front leg with that shin, and that is not something that works with everyone's anatomy. For me, taking more of a 45 or 50-degree angle works well. So make sure to listen to any signals your body's sending you. Take 2 more rounds of breath. On the first round, find something to let go physically. And then on your last breath, something to let go energetically. Slowly press back up to your palms and then find downward facing dog. And you can stay here or take any counter stretch. Maybe you move into wild thing, sending your right leg up and over until your toes come down to the floor. Arch your hips up and open the entire front line of your body. Return to downward facing dog if you're not already there. Inhale, kick your left leg high, and exhale, half pigeon. Set up your posture for your unique body, and when you're ready, fold forward. Maybe rest your forehead down on your hands, just give in to gravity. Release, relax. Soften your face, soften your jaw, soften your mind. Come back up to your palms on an inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog or a counter stretch. If you take wild thing, make your way there, just one last effort. And then back to downward facing dog. Notice how your body feels in this posture compared to the first time you took it. Lower down to your knees and find your way all the way down to lie on your back. Draw your knees into your chest and take some circles, massaging the low back into the mat, and then maybe bring the knees out and around, little hip circles. Let this be easy, just one last little bit of movement before we find rest. Hug your knees in tight and lift your shoulder blades up and off the mat, squeezing everything as tight as you can. Exhale, Shavasana. Release arms and legs long. Get out any wiggles. So find what's comfortable, your comfortable resting pose, and then just be still. Close your eyes See if you can let everything go. Every tiny muscle, every small thought, and just surrender. You are fully supported by the earth, by the blanket of gravity. Breathe naturally. Send awareness to the entire right hemisphere of your body. Imagine it glowing with warm light. Maybe it's a little tingly, maybe a little buzzy. And now, light up the left side of your body, warm and glowy. And now the entire body lights up, radiating out of the crown of your head, out your fingertips and toes. Let this buzzing, tingling energy start to build and bring small movements back to your fingertips and toes. Take a long body stretch. Reach your arms up overhead. Get as long as you can, stretching out like taffy. And then roll over onto your left side and find fetal pose for a few breaths, keeping your eyes closed, keeping your head heavy. When you're ready, press up to an easy seat. Eyes are still closed, or maybe your gaze is soft. Bring your palms together at heart center. Feel all the good energy and light you just created gather together between your palms on an inhale. And exhale, send it outward. Lift your palms up to your third eye center and bow forward. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Before you go down below and make sure that you're subscribed to my channel because that really supports me. Give this video a like and maybe share it with a friend who you think might enjoy some yoga. Have a great rest of your day and I'll see you next time. Bye.